Well, hello friends. I want to welcome you to Jim's In Town Gardening. I'm finally going to get in my garden. I'm excited. It is Monday, May 18th here in Maine. We're in central Maine. Normally I've shared this before. In the last 3-4 years, the last bit of snow leaves our front yard May 1st. Usually there'll be just a little pile of snow by one of my gardens out front. And May 1st is when that leaves. Now, when we first bought the house, which was actually our first move-in, was the day of 9/11. Anyways, for probably 5 or 6 years, I was able to get my early crops, my lettuce, my spinach, peas, even my onion sets. I could get those planted between the 15th and 18th. Usually my tomatoes and peppers, I waited until Memorial Day weekend. That's the rule that most everybody up here uses. And even then we've had frost. In fact, we had a frost, I'm going to say 3 years ago, the beginning of July. Anyways, the first that I'm going to plant today is my peas. Now, again, this is a back to Eden garden. Which means I have wood chips covering my whole garden. All my gardens have covering. My asparagus bed has wood chips on it. Where I plant my potatoes, that has wood chips on it. My garlic, which is up nice, and I'll show you a picture of that or a video of that. All my flower gardens. So anyways, let me take you out there. I'm not sure how I'm going to film this because as I plant, it's going to be hard for me to bring the camera around, but I'll try to explain. If the voice doesn't come out, what I'll do is revoice it when I do the editing, because I really want you to see how this is done. I love this method. I've been doing this now for about 6 years, and I know in the last probably 3 years I've been saying I've been going to do videos. I do my gardening pretty much all by myself. When I first started this, we had a homeless man that was living with us, and I thought, wow, I could do it really easy. He could follow me around with the camera, and I don't have that luxury of doing that. My wife can't be out in the sun long because of some of the medications she takes. So this is all on me. But I want to share. That's the whole reason I have this channel, is to show how easy gardening can be, and I encourage everybody, even if you only have a balcony or a little deck, plant something. Whether it's a tomato, you can get pots that you can grow cucumbers in. You got to be careful which cucumbers you do because you don't want huge, bushy if you've only got a small balcony. Get a patio type tomato, a patio type cucumber. Lettuce, you can grow that in small containers. Spinach is good either cooked or raw. Quite often we'll mix our spinach in with our lettuce and in salads. Get those beneficial nutrients that your body's calling for. Potatoes, you can do those in pots. I tried that last year with some purple potatoes, and they weren't as big as what I had in the garden, but, we had them. I didn't have any garden space left to put them, and I didn't want them to go to waste. These were some that my mother had sent me, and I wanted to use them, and they are one of the superfoods. So, now, I've already got this row. I've got my fence up. I'm using 3 different types. I'm using Lincoln, Progress, and the tall telephone. So what I got my fence up. I've raked the wood chips back, and you'll see when I take you out there, because you don't want to plant right in the chips. The seed needs to be in the soil. So I've raked that back. I did that yesterday. Now I'm going to plant the seed. As soon as the seed comes up, when it's up, about like that, I'll start bringing those wood chips back. Now, I believe we're supposed to have rain Thursday or Friday. My soil is pretty moist. I do have very sandy soil here. In fact, it's all sand. but I think I can germinate those peas good. We'll get that rain by then. Usually 4 or 5 days my peas are up. I'll bring those wood chips back up around those plants, and as they grow up, then I'll make sure that those are covered really well. I've been chipping some limbs that came down on a storm, 3 weeks ago. My neighbor had a bunch, so I've chipped those. I've got to go to his camp either today or tomorrow. He's got a bunch there that he wants chipped up, so I will have quite a bunch of wood chips. Doesn't take long for those to rot down, which is good in a way because it's feeding that soil. You've got all that rotted material that the worms and other beneficial microbes are coming up and feeding on, getting it down into the soil. But I need that covering so that I don't have to water my garden. I'm on town water. I don't want to put the chlorine in there. But also, because I have put so much manure over the years when I was working dairy farms, in this garden, boy, I can get weeds like crazy. It doesn't take long for a carpet of weeds to cover this garden. So that's why I like the wood chips. I don't have that problem. Do I have weeds in the garden? I have some that grow up. And the other thing, like dandelions, you know how tough dandelions can be to pull up. They've got that long taproot. These normally pull up really easy, or easier, I would say. So give me just a few minutes and we'll get in the garden. Okay, so now I'm at my garden spot. What I'm planting here is the tall telephone peas. I made it the whole row with those. I'm going to be planting inside and outside. I'm outside the garden right now. This garden is 30 by 45 feet. Now, the length here is the 45. However, there's the gate right there. And on your side, your end of the gate, there's another little part that juts out. So what I'm doing is I'm planting these about roughly 4 inches apart and an inch deep. Normally my pea seed will germinate in about 5 days. And after they start coming up, I'll start raking the wood chips in. I've got to add some more on the outside. It's not quite as much as I normally have on there. Ideally, I like to have about 4 inches in the fall. Okay, so here I'm in the inside part of the garden. On this part of the row, I'm going to be planting the progress peas. There's a number after that, and I can't remember the number. This is a pea I've used quite a bit. Doesn't get as tall as I'd like, but we have a good harvest with it. So what I'll do is I'll make it down the end of the row, and then something that I've never done before, but because we have quite a bit, I'm going to be putting the rabbit manure over the top. This is rabbit turds, if you will, that I've gathered up. There's no hay in it. It went on top of the rabbit cages during the winter. It dried out. So that's what I'm going to be putting on. You'll see as soon as I get done with the end of the row. The thing I like about rabbit manure is you can put it around your plants. It doesn't burn the roots. And in fact, I planted onions today, and I put quite a bit of that around there too. I have it. It's not going to hurt it. It will help add some of the things that the plants need to get going.
I don't know if I'll get the onion video on today, but probably tomorrow I'll do that. There, this side of the row is all done now. So now we'll put the rabbit manure in. So I hope this video might have helped somebody. I know there's a few people who have been thinking about doing the Back to Eden garden. Hopefully this will help. It'll encourage somebody. I know there's a couple down the road that moved up from the southern states. They've started the Back to Eden garden. So we hope that you'd subscribe, click the like button, share it if you feel like. Have a blessed day. God